Biffle Spud of the Global 122 channel and Peeps of 122, back to another awesome 3-star video for Summoner's War. Shumar is a monster that you should probably already have. Shumar is the Dark Hellhound. He's available from secret dungeons, and if you beg and scream enough for him in amongst all the Yeti beggars, I'm sure you can eventually get one. He's really good. He's actually been one of my favorite monsters to have used for quite some time. I've been using him for the better part of 2 to 3 years, and he continues to be a top workhorse for me for the roles he does well in. I want to show you how I can use him in-game. Early, he's a great farmer, at least for normal clearing scenarios, and he's not so bad in arena, at least early, but he doesn't really hold up too well past the fighter ranks. Where he's best at is Guild Wars and Rifts. Shumar has another name that I call him, and I would encourage you to pick up this nickname for him as well. I call him Chomps McKensie, named after Spuds McKensie, the party dog. But Chomps McKensie is his nickname that I've picked up for because that's what he does. He makes chomps. And he will destroy things when you use him as a delete button. He's replaceable if he gets killed, but he's sure hard to get killed when he is all offense and he eats things before they can even swing back at him. Shumar is a very simple monster who's got a lot of synergies going on. I want to walk you through some of the synergies and then show you exactly how well they work. His first skill, S1, is just a bite. It's the same standard bitey as all Hellhounds have. It's got built-in Vampiric. Actually, it's exactly built-in Vampiric. It's got a 360% of his attack power multiplier, which is not too shabby. Generally speaking, Hellhounds are not built with attack on 2. So he's not going to do too much damage with it, considering he's only getting 1 attack rune and 1 crit damage rune, but it's not so bad. And hey, free leech for a very wimpy little monster. His only other active ability is his S2, and that's Ambush. This is the same ability as Tark, the Water Hellhound, but the synergies that Shumar has with it are just obscene. Ambush does damage based on its attack speed, and it increases attack speed. I'm not quite sure if it's at the moment or of attack or not. But either way, he gets a speed buff for doing so, which means he can attack right away and do more damage. It's his speed plus 140 divided by 0.5%. So he's going to do a lot of damage based on his own speed, which is why Shumar is built with speed on 2, and probably the Swift runes is his major force set, and I'll show you that yes, indeed, I'm using mine. But I mentioned the synergy, and he's got 2 fantastic synergies that are based off his passive. Spurt gives him more attack speed, so right off the bat, it makes Ambush better. Spurt does not stack with Swift runes, so just because you put Swift runes on him doesn't mean you get an additional add 15, then take the Swift runes. It just simply adds speed on top of whatever else he has. So 15 more damage, or 15 more to his multiplier for Ambush. That's good too. But the other half of Spurt makes him a throat-seeking missile. The weaker he is, the faster he gets. So if he's near death, his ambush will hit a hell of a lot harder than it does when he's at full life. It already hits very hard, but seemingly capping at around half his health loss. If he's anywhere near half dead or slightly less, he will grind out some very, very massive bites. It looks like it adds roughly an additional 33% more damage. So unfortunately, it's not like for every hit point lost, you gain more speed, because he would be pretty much clobbering everything as fast as he can go. But it's damn well near enough. Because Shumar is either kill or be killed, he doesn't really have a lot of chance to come back from a fight if he's all beat up. He's pretty much going to take advantage of this or die or both. So as long as he's in the fight, and if you can keep him from being beat up too terribly much, if he can get a little scrape on him, he is a lot more vicious. I will show you exactly where I use this ability, and it is obscene when you can watch it happening. So I want to show it off to you actually several raids when it's in use. He's a dynamo in the Water Rift raid. I'll share with you more on that passive as we go, but I just wanted you to absorb the synergy here. He gets faster when he's beat up, and Ambush does its damage based on his speed. He's disgusting. I call Chomps my throat-seeking missile for a very good reason. That's really all he does. He flies forward, devours things, and then goes on about his merry way. He's sick. As simple as a base 3-star monster can be, he's a great one. He doesn't really need very much from you besides runes and targets. And if you can get him both of those things, he's a very, very happy camper. I wanted to show you my water raid team before I got into the PvP aspects with Shumar. Water Beast is a complicated thing. You can't use anybody who's got a spaced on their hit points do something skill because of what he does to your hit points as you're fighting him. That means hit point based healers like Emma are completely out. What works really well for this raid is speed buffs and attack bar fills. I'm doing that with Croa and Frigate, the Dark Pirate and Dark Harg and Dark Pirate respectively, because they're both really, really great for this thing. You can get away with Purian perfectly well instead of Frigate. I just happen to be like using Frigate because I've got one. The rest of this is all about just weathering the storm. You don't really need direct heals on this one. If you're simply fast enough, Hots can keep you going because he spent a lot of time dithering around. You're actually going to see me just go through his supposed to clear your entire team attack because he doesn't actually do that much damage with it. And you just weather the storm and let your hit points top off back again. So here comes the Hots from Croa and Fin Yang, and off we go again. Freezing air doesn't actually do damage, but what it does do is reduce your hit points to 75% of their total. Guess which hellhound hits harder when his hit points are reduced? Big surprise, it's the title of this show. Shumar is built for this thing. With him in the back there, being pissed off that 75% of his hit points are temporarily stripped away, he turns into a nutty, crazy thing. I'm going to show you the fight from the beginning this time. So, you'll notice as the attack bar comes up for the Water Rift Beast, he's going to do the frozen hit point move, and then his next attack is to hit the front line. So he won't do anything to my back four monsters, and honestly, Croa and Feng Yan can take it perfectly well. They're up there taking it, the back row is just going nuts on him, and Shumar is getting a lot of turns. He's pretty much the second fastest base speed monster in here. Croa and Frigate are no slouches, but with his hit points constantly reduced, I'm going to give this one to Shumar. He's going to be going crazy here. It doesn't do him much good during the groggy phase. He just happens to be a very fast monster, so he's going to be dishing out a lot of damage just because, well, he can. But he speeds up the rounds between the groggy phases so much, and that's simply because of what he's got to offer. He's actually toe-to-toeing with the Wind Homunculus sitting right next to him, and he's considerably faster than my Wind Homie. So he's probably my main damage dealer for this raid. I suppose RNGs can allow Feng Yan or Yin or Wind Homie, because they're all Violent Runed, to go a little crazier, but in practice they don't. So again, it's all based on, okay, you want to freeze off my hit points? You go crazy, big fella. And meanwhile, the back row is going nutty on him. Hots and attack speed. If you're still struggling on your team, go for those strategies if you all can. You probably can even get away with the Fire Panda in the front row just simply because the Water Beast just doesn't really hit that hard, and anybody can survive a couple of knocks from him. It's the back row that you really need to be responding pretty quickly to, since they're getting attack bar filled and they're getting haste buffed, and Shumar is always getting haste buffed. He's pretty much going to be topping his own hit points off before you even have to worry about what happens with his next freezing air hit point based attack. Water Rift, once I figured this out, became a lot easier. I was trying to grit through it. Oh, can I heal it up? Can I speed up my team? Can I bubble in some way? Don't bother. Just let it go. He really does not do enough damage quickly to make it really troublesome. Compare this to Wind Beast, where you really do have to be on top of your healing game. Water Beast is very gentle. So here's the freezing hit points. He's not going to do anything to the back row for quite some time, not until he gets to his next second from now attack. Here he is hitting the front. He'll do some pretty serious damage to them. They're fine. Don't worry about it. They'll top off. But the back row's got plenty of time to dish out damage, and by the time he even thinks about doing anything to the back row again, they're pretty much topped off. The only two who didn't are slower. Both Wind Homie and Yin are built slow, but they're fine. They're wind-based monsters, so they don't really care what he does. Here comes another freezing roar. And Shumar goes nuts. You can see his attack bar filling up. He's really pissed off about this one. So he's just spraying out the damage. Honestly, truly, this is broken. And this is one of the happiest joys I've had for dusting off this monster. He's fantastic here. Sadly, he doesn't hold up in the other raids nearly as well. He's, of course, of no value whatsoever in fire or dark. It doesn't work too well in wind. And unfortunately, he just doesn't survive Light Beast's attack all that much. Because of the elemental advantage, Light Beast pretty much kicks his butt. And he does a lot of damage, but he's just not able to be kept alive during that fight. We're at Death's Door. I'm not worried. I lost Croa. I'm still not worried. Because, frankly, it's all about how much damage can we do to this guy. He's got a lot of time before he even threatens the back row. I don't even care if he kills Fing Yan off. Because he's not hitting the back row, and they're going to group together and pound him before he even has a chance. Oh, I would lie. I lied. He's defending himself somehow. Don't worry about it. We're okay. Bite! And that's the end of the fight. Shumar is nuts. He's really, really built for this thing. And because he's Oblivion, or he's not going to be Oblivion during this fight, he can continue to do this kind of abuse all throughout the Water Beast Rift. He's worth the build for this, if nothing else. If I didn't already have one around and someone had told me this, I probably would be building him right away. I built my homunculus wind because I like this power, but a lot of people go water if you don't have something but like Varad. If you're struggling with water rifts and you're trying to build up your water homunculus skills, here, take a cookie. Please do try this. It's really well worth your trouble. I'd loan you my rep for this one, but I can't loan monsters for the rifts. So make your own, I suppose. He's really not that hard to make, and you're watching him go nuts at this job. Like all hellhounds, Chomps is a squish hound. He also, like many of the 3 stars I love, doesn't even cap out around 8,000 hit points. He's all built towards attack. You can see he's got an incredibly high base attack number. Not so great on defense, not so great on hit points. Very nice speed though, one of the highest awakened base speeds. He's great at one thing, and that's being a quick moving cannon that bites things and dies. I guess that was 3 things. Okay, he's good at 3 things. A quick-moving cannon who dies. Those are the 3 skills he's got. Because you can't make him anything other than a squish hound, don't bother trying. Go for attack, crit rate, and crit damage. He doesn't need accuracy. There's really no point to resistance. He's going to die anyway. I put hit point runes on him that I could, just to keep him alive a little bit better. I wouldn't go crazy on it. If you happen to have the hit point subs, don't turn away from them. But certainly you can ignore defense, resistance, and accuracy. Accuracy, he needs nothing at all on that one. And yeah, pretty much embrace the fact that he's a squishy. As far as runes go, I went Swiftblade, and I've really only tried them this way. I suppose you can make a good case for Vampiric. These are decent runes. You probably already know where they're going to be going, however. I'm looking for attack, speed, crit rate, and crit damage wherever I can get them. These are runes I haven't actually changed in well over a year. So despite having a fairly active diet for rune farming, Shumar doesn't get the best of runes anymore, because for what he can do, he doesn't really need them. He's actually one of those monsters that's perfectly powerful with runes that you were getting from Giant a long, long time ago. And Swiftblade are pretty much good entry-level Giant runes. I recommend them, and you don't need to go top of the budget with the runes that you afford for him. Just slap on a good set and let her rip. I've got one more thing to show you. I've got a fun interlude for you, and then I want to show you what sicking Chomps on things looks like. So first, a vivid demonstration, and then second, here's what it looks like killing stuff in Guild Wars.
Look, there's Miss Barkley's stupid cat, Boo. I hate that dumb cat. He always tries to scratch me. Me too. Get him, Max! Sick him! Come on! You sicked him on that cat, not me. No, you did.
So I want to show off my standard Guild War offense. Galleon, Wusa, and Shumar are my go-to team for pretty much anybody I think I can outspeed. And because of Galleon already having a high speed, I think I can outspeed almost most teams I try him out on. This is pretty much an obvious combo, so I'm only going to talk through it once. I'm going to show you the porn afterwards. Galleon does what Galleon does. He's going to defense, break, and attack buff the whole team. It really only matters for Shumar. Shumar will go next, and I'm going to isolate the biggest threat I can see on their team and eat it. And then Wusa will shield the whole team so nobody takes any damage, which will buy easily 2 more turns of Shumar being on the map to eat somebody else. So there's one dead Bella. Probably wasn't the biggest threat, but should be taken down anyway because Bella will strip. Nothing at all from Beretta, nothing at all from the monkey, who's not going to go for Shumar at all, so long as they don't hit Beretta with him. And why would I? Because Beretta just completely shot his wad. So Shumar can now bite somebody. It's not going to be the killer move that going after with ambush would have been, but it's no slouch for damage either. So I could choose to get Beretta. I could probably damage the monkey, but you could probably kill a Beretta outright, and that took care of the rest of my attack power buff. So now I'm ready for another ambush. This is going to be one dead chimp in 1 second. Casualties, 0. This would work well with anybody else besides Wusa, I suppose, but it's a good use for him. Why not use him for it? And it's really just a matter of taking down the biggest threat or the biggest annoyance on the team and making it into a 3v2 fight. This is going to look pretty repetitive, but I like consistency. I mentioned that on my Saffron video where, yes, you pretty much saw the same fight over and over again. It's the same fight over and over again because it wins and I don't lose anybody. And keep in mind, I'm doing, especially towards the weekend, we're heading in towards G1 PvP. I've got a hellhound who barely tops out around 1,300 hit or 30,000 hit points. He's doing just fine taking down things. Obvious choice, kill the damn Fing Yan as fast as you can. And since he was defense broken, there's no reason not to try to take him down. That's the big reason I hate Bella. Bella will seize off my glorious buffs that I used to have on Shumar, so I'll just have to get a few more going here for him. Nice thing is, now everybody's going to start focusing on Shumar, and now he's mad. So, fight. And even with a shield up, that's not going to keep you alive, Rena. So we still have an angry Shumar, leeching back a little of his health, and it really won't matter because they're all dead. I think you see the point here. Defense break, pick off the target that you most need to kill before they cause too much trouble. This was a target-rich environment because they're all obnoxious. But with Wusa around, I don't really have to worry too much about Orion. And then simply wait until you have the opportunity to start killing things again. Since the team now has absolutely nothing to threaten me except for annoyance, I can pick my target whenever I get the opportunity to bite one. I hate Orion, so I'm going to start beating up the crap out of him if I could. I think you're seeing the point here. Shumar doesn't hold up in 4v4. He's just too easily focused or he's too easily AoE'd. But Guild Wars don't seem to use very much AoE, and you don't see a lot of light monsters that are very threatening in a lot of GW anyway, I suppose Mimir. So Shumar's got a pretty rich environment. I call this my walking the dog AO. It really is all about making Shumar look good. The only target I have now is Ritesh. It's okay, I hate Ritesh. Oh, now this is a tough call. What to do. Try to kill off a unit wherever at all possible. I'm sorry, Shumar didn't get the killing blow. But now it's a matter of picking off the annoyances. Delphoy will only go for the water monsters. Chloe will only go for Shumar. They are splitting their attacks. I don't have to worry about a damn thing here. Aside from putting more damage to them that they can keep up with. And with 2 healers, they're not going to be able to stay ahead of a hellhound that's very aggressive towards them. So it's just simply a matter of taking them down as well as I can, given the fact that I can't really land any debuffs on them for quite some time. I think you get it. I'll only show you one more of these things. It's only breaks down against a Rakan team. And it's primarily because a lot of Rakans are well ruined, and the Rakan will focus very specifically on Shumar. Collapse, so long as he can get it done before Woosa shields, will outright kill Chomps. So don't try doing that. But if there's an obvious threat to take down, especially if your Galleon has any real accuracy, you're fine. Just do what you need to do. Drop it down to a 2v3 fight and chomp on him. And yeah, at this point I could laugh at them, because even though they had some pretty nasty debuffs and their entire strategy was isolate and kill the weak, they can't because I wins. And yeah, that's pretty much what Guild Wars looks like if I can find a fast team comp. This works so nicely, I pretty much modify it for my Guild Wars defense without being serious about it. My serious speed defense is Galleon, Chomps, Frigate. And it deletes things. It doesn't win all the time, I will note that. But I know it's making people cry, because somebody has just lost a monster if they fight that team, and they weren't prepared to match me speed for speed. I suppose the AI can derp, but Shumar only has 2 abilities, and his chances are pretty good. He's deleted somebody just because you've attacked that team. I don't use Frigate in my Guild Wars offensive, because Woosa just buys me a lot more recovery, and that way I'm not losing monsters quite as quickly. I also use Frigate in my Chef Run team, so they don't get to play together very much, except when they're on the defensive team.